Welcome everyone to the Drip G podcast. I am your host, Uncle G, and with me is host from Eat Gaming and special guest Sergio from A.M Pro Box. We record this podcast live every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Drip. What's up, man? But before you answer, we have our special guest, which I hope I said their name correctly in the intro. Sergio, dude, good to have you, man. Welcome into the show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. And you said it right.
Perfect.
Even if you said it wrong, I'd say you said it right.
Love it.
So it's definitely right, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. Sergio does some awesome YouTube content, very similar to Drip's content. So if you guys like Drip, what Drip does on his channel, you're gonna love what Sergio does. It's better than Drip. And I edit videos for Drip, so I can say that. Because it's also partly me.
It's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
So yeah, guys, go check out It Came From a Box. The links are down below in your description. How you doing this week, Sergio? What's going on? We had a Nintendo Direct this week. 2.
Oh yeah, dude. What is it? It's Indie World and Partner Showcase.
Showcase. Yes.
Yeah, first time they've done both at the same time like that.
They kind of had to.
It was an hour, I think, right? It was about an hour.
It was like
40 minutes or so.
5-ish minutes or something like that. Yeah, it's close to an hour.
Yeah. I gave it a C, and I didn't say it on the internet because I don't want people to get mad at me. But...
Oh, man, yeah.
I'm sorry to break it to you, but this is the internet, so.
You just did that. I agree, though. C's about right. It was fine.
Yeah.
I feel like the thing that it showed me that made me very happy is they're not showing us anything big anymore. They're done. Switch 2's on the way. We're done with the big stuff.
What if they did?
Yeah, I mean, Partner Showcase, Indie Direct, perfect. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, that's awesome. So now September or October's open for that Switch 2 announcement.
Oh, yeah. I'm still hoping they'll bring back Reggie for that because that'd be incredible. So
they need to.
Just out of retirement.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and we've talked about that several times, actually. Like, when they do actually finally announce this thing, everybody there is new. Like, this whole team of Nintendo people in general has never released a console. So this whole thing is going to be brand new. It's not going to be like it was. You know, we don't really know. I mean, we think it's a Switch 2. It's going to be a simple upgrade with some, maybe another way to switch. But like, we really have no idea what they're going to do or how they're going to like do the marketing or the launch or how long they're going to like wait. I mean, they could announce it. I mean, what was the Switch? They did October and then we got it in March.
So. Near the holidays, yeah.
They could just announce the thing and show us something and then just be like, see you next holiday.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's going to be crazy.
It'd be terrible. But
I'm terrified because remember, like, the Wii was so good. Then we got the Wii U, which is the complete opposite of so good. And with the Switch being as good as it was, I'm terrified. It's going to be hard. It's really easy to botch it.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was so they did it. They proved that with the Wii U. I mean, 99% of the people thought it was just a controller for the Wii because they didn't. I mean, in the first marketing, they didn't even show the console. They just showed the controller with Wiimotes.
Yeah.
And I think it was like in the background, you could see it like blurry and it just looked like a Wii anyway. So
yeah.
Hopefully they've learned from that. Yeah. Hopefully they've learned from that. But you're right. They could totally, completely mess this up. I hope they don't. It is scary though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I am hoping that they keep with the tradition of having something that's semi-affordable because that means accessibility to people who have just who can't afford a $600 console.
Yeah,
and
we talked about that.
Something Nintendo's been big on.
Yeah, we talked about. I think it was last week. Was that when we talked about this?
I believe so.
The week before. I don't remember. But yeah, the price was something we were talking about the Switch 2. I mean,
yeah, it was last week with Rudy.
400 like has to be it, right? It's got to be 400.
I mean, I'm expecting 500 if it's like a pro version of the Switch. In my head, is the highest number. Because outside of that, that's crazy.
That's
I think even 500.
So
that's true. That's true. But I mean, even 500, I think people, just the regular everyday mom and dad going to buy some kid a Switch is going to be like, no way.
That's a good expectation,
I think 500 is still up there.
I don't agree with the price. I think it's going to be lower than that. I think it kind of has to be, unless we have a situation where it's multi-tier and they're releasing 1, 2, maybe 3, and then I think it's acceptable to have 500. But I think a good expectation to have is, like I always say, if you guys have a high expectation for something, like saying, oh, it's going to be the same price as the Switch as we know it, or it's going to be like $350 or something like that. Oh, that's a bad expectation, because then you're setting yourself up for failure. And when it comes out for $450, you're going to like, oh, I hate this. This is terrible. And it's going to take you some time to get over that. Whereas if you go with a reasonable head on your shoulders, like, I want it to be $400. I want it to be less than that. But if it's somewhere in the $500 range, there's probably a good reason why. And listen, it's an extra $100. These things are already luxury. So if you can't afford it already, I'm not, I'm broke like everybody else is. But, I'm not trying to say like, oh, I have the money, I can afford it. I'm just saying like, if it's already luxury, so if you can afford $400, you probably can afford $500 too. Just, you got to put a little bit more into it. But again, I think $400 is the sweet spot. It's a little bit more than last gen, but we can expect this thing to have some upgrades significantly, especially over the original Switch. So I think $400 is where they got to go.
I mean,
I would like to see a tiered system. I'd like to see a $400 one, a $450, and a $500 one, somewhere around there.
I'd be fine with $500 as long as, like you said, like if it's got the $500 worth in there and you can see it like clearly, like, okay, this thing is crazy, I'm good with it. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter either way. Whatever tier system they do, we're all going to be buying the most expensive one anyway. So
more important than the price is the system itself. If they just need to blow us away, please blow us away. And if they blow us away, then I'll pay $600. Not I won't, but just blow us away. Like, do something great, and the price is going to be an afterthought. No one's going to compare it to the PS5 if it's as good as PS5 in your hands. Okay, just good.
Yeah, I think they also have the ability to just sell you parts now. You know what I mean? Like, remember when you got the Switch, you had the dock, you had 2 Joy-Cons, the console, the straps. Like, it's a full kit that you got back then, right? So now, if this is going to be compatible with the original Switch, that maybe they can give you the console without a dock. Maybe they can give you a console with a new dock that will give you like a higher resolution than the previous dock or something like that. There's something that's going to happen with compatibility with the previous gen that I think they can use to adjust pricing and do like a tiered system kind of thing. So how we have like the PS5 and the PS5's, what's it called? The disc version and the discless version. Like something like that. And the Series S and the X, that's like a huge, I have 3 Series S, okay? 3 of them. Why? Because they're so affordable. And also I do videos on this stuff. But like what you get with that for that price point is crazy. It's really, really crazy.
Yeah,
it's true.
Guys, this podcast is not about the Switch 2, although that was a lovely little segment that we just did there. So that was nice to talk about the Switch 2, because Drip and I will talk about that all day long, every single day, if we could. But we can't. So this week's going to be talking about some accessories from the Nintendo Switch. We're going to talk about some of our favorites from this current gen, all about this current gen Nintendo Switch. Some of our favorite stuff, some of our not favorites, unfavorites, if you will, and some of our things that we wish that came in this generation but did not, / what we're hoping to see in the next generation. So we're going to talk about all that stuff. But before we do that, we have a couple things we need to do. Number one, we have a 5-star review to read, except we don't, Drip. We have no 5-star review to read. Play a sound. There we go. So
I'm here for you, man. Don't worry about it. I got it.
I know. So, we have no 5-star review to read. However, the winner of our show from last week did not respond after 2 weeks. So, where are you, bro? So, unfortunately, we're going to have to pass it on to the next person. So, if you guys have left a review in the past or want to leave one this week, next week we'll be selecting a brand new winner to the show, as long as we don't forget about it, for a $50 eShop gift card. So, please, guys, go to Apple Podcasts, write us a nice little review. You can say whatever you want. I don't really care what it says. You can tell us that it's the worst podcast ever. I'm unsubscribing. 5 stars. That's all that matters. 5 stars. Leave those 5 stars. You could be snarky. I don't care. I like that kind of humor. Just trash us. Tell us how ugly I am or how fat I am and how Drip needs to get a new haircut. Like, just go. You can do whatever you want.
Man, my haircut's fine.
You can do whatever you want. I don't care. As long as it's 5 stars.
No, don't talk about my hair. You can't do that. You can't do that.
I'm free game.
I'm drawing the line right there.
There's nothing anybody can say about me that I haven't said already about myself. So feel free to say whatever you want on the internet. Go ahead.
5 stars.
5 stars. That's the only requirement. Then you'll be entered to win. We'll announce that next week. And Drip, again, this week is about accessories. And there's a pretty darn good accessory that is a sponsor of tonight's podcast, and that is going to be MobilePad, Drip. You and I have tried a bunch of third-party accessories, and I think we both can say that the MobilePad M6 HGs are the best we've ever used, hands down. From the mechanical buttons to HD rumble, the amiibo support, they're not lacking any features. They got it all. Moped also has a bunch of other products like the Moped Chai 2, a Pro Controller alternative, the Moped Nintendo Switch dock, the Moped M6S, a cheaper alternative to the M6 HDs, and much more. I really can't think of any flaws in their products, Drip.
I do love their products. Their Joy-Cons especially. I've been using these cotton candy ones. That's a good thing about them. They have faceplates that you can switch in and out. You can buy the faceplate separately. You can get, what do they have now? 4 colors in the Joy-Cons. They just released the black ones, which I don't have yet. I really want those. Yeah. I don't have mine yet. They're on the way. But 4 colors. They have all the features of the regular Joy-Cons. The buttons feel better. They're easier to hold. They feel way better. One of the big things I really like about them too is they go on the side of the Switch really tight. And you can get them right now on their website. Not only these Joy-Cons with a set of the faceplates and the case for an awesome price, or you can actually get a bundle with the controller and the dock for I think it's what is it, $60, $70 for both, which is a really good deal.
So you guys can find those good deals and all their other products at moped.com. Feel free to check the link out below in your podcast feed and go to moped.com to check out the stuff they have available. They're on Facebook as well, if I'm not mistaken.
They are on Facebook, and they want us to tell you about their Facebook, so we're doing it right now. That link is down in the description of this video, and if you're listening to this in the audio version, they'll be there too. Make sure you go over there and follow them on Facebook.
For sure. And thank you, Moped, for sponsoring today's episode. Sergio, super thankful to have you on tonight. I've been a big fan of your stuff for probably as long as I've been a fan of Drip's content before Drip and I started making content together. The story goes, the story always goes, the reason that Drip and I are even here right now is because during COVID, I got bored like everybody else and went out looking for a Switch, and the only thing that was available was the Switch Lite. So Drip had the market on Switch Lite back then. It was anytime you look up Switch Lite, it was Drip stuff. So then I started following him. But also at the same time, after I got one, accessories, you need to get stuff for your Switch, and your stuff came up right away as well. And I would notice right away how good and high quality your stuff was. So super thankful you've agreed to come on our show. We're sorry
for sure
that we're probably disappointed.
No, thanks guys. No, I appreciate that. Not at all. You guys are crazy, man. No, thanks so much, man. Yeah, every time I do this so frequently that I don't think about how long I've been doing it for. So it's always weird to see that someone's like, "Oh, I've seen your stuff before." Because in my head, I'm like, I just released a video, and I don't know who likes it and who doesn't like it. You never get as many views as you think you're going to get, or as many comments.
Right.
So in my head, I'm like just tossing stuff out into the ether, and it's cool when someone sees it.
Yeah, man,
for sure.
I thought you were going to say something.
No, I'm just agreeing.
Yeah,
I got nothing.
I agree.
Go for it. Cool, I was waiting for you, man. You're driving.
I'm sorry. Here we go. I'm driving. Here we go. Daddy's in the driver's seat. Let's go. So we're going to talk about some of our favorite Nintendo Switch accessories. Obviously, we just talked about Moped, and that's not just our sponsor. That's also one on my list, and I know it's on Drip's list as well. That it's a great product. They really, what I said in the ad, I believe in. Like they got great stuff. And
oh yeah, I mean that's why we asked them to sponsor the podcast, because we love the stuff so much.
Number one is the ergonomic grips on the things. I mean it's really nice to hold a console, a Nintendo Switch console, and not have it be digging into my palms. And not only that, it's got big boy sticks on it for big boy hands. And it's more made for adults. It's a good product to have. It's a little on the pricier side, but it's worth it because of what it brings to your Switch.
Yeah, I mean, those are my favorites. You've already talked about them. I mean, one of the things I like about them the most is all the buttons are clicky.
Yeah.
And I know that some people don't like that, but like when I first picked these up, I was like, ooh. Actually, it was the controller that's the first thing I got from them. It has the clicky buttons too, and I was like, ooh, I really like that.
Micro switches.
I really, really like that. That's why I like these. But there's other really good. I mean, the big Joy-Cons is just something that we'll get into that later, but Nintendo just missed on that so hard. Everybody else got it right. There's so many different ones that are out. These are my favorite, but I mean, Binbach makes some that are good. What are some of the other companies that make some good ones?
Nixie has
yeah.
There are two. They have the GameCube ones, and they have the Hyperion Pro.
Yes.
Well, the Hyperion and the Hyperion Pro.
Yeah. Yeah, I have the Pros here. Those are good. I like those too. Those are the ones that are more like a basic controller. You know what I mean? They're the closest thing you can get to like putting a Pro controller on the side of the Switch, I think.
Yeah,
They've got
and there's like the Hori ones too, which I think we talked about how we're not the biggest fan of those.
Yeah.
Which
That's not going to be in this
these are the
section of the
competitors
podcast.
are much better.
It's going to be in
Yeah.
the bad section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're talking about alternative Joy-Cons, I pulled up a couple here that used to be a sponsor for our podcast, Binbach, who sent us over the Binbach. What are these called, Drip? Do you remember what these are called?
God, I don't know. Those are like the biggest ones, though.
Yeah,
Like, if you want a big Joy-Con, that's it.
And
That's huge.
I even have the big sticks on there as well, the big tall
God.
sticks. For my, I got man.
massive.
Listen, contrary to the comments, I have man hands. Okay, they got big boy hands, so these fit my meaty hands pretty damn good. So I mean, I do use these on occasion for sure, even still. So these are really nice ones I have. But what, Sergio? Let's ask you though. I mean, like you can go in whatever order. You can talk about all Joy-Con alternatives or whatever you want. What are some of your favorite Switch accessories from this generation?
Okay, so I came prepared. I did the list.
Perfect.
I got my bag. I got the fancy webcam that costs too much money, and it does the desk mode.
Nice.
And I love desk mode because it gets my face out of the
that's
camera.
So sick.
So this is my Timbuktu Astro CS03. It's a sling bag for the Switch. If you guys don't know Timbuktu, they make awesome bags. So they're high quality. They have like a lifetime warranty. That's how you know it's like worth it. It's just a really good EDC sling bag.
Looks sick.
I always carry stuff, so I think it's perfect for just your everyday carry, but also it's perfect for the Switch that's in here, and that'll lead onto the other accessories. But yeah, I brought a bag because I freaking love bags.
dude. For sure.
Same. I'm a bag person for sure. I love bags. I get a lot of crap for that. I like
good,
that
man.
one a lot.
That looks slick.
Yeah.
It looks. If you guys are watching this podcast, of course, you're gonna get the full effect if you actually watch this show, guys. If you guys are audio people, maybe check out YouTube this week. But we'll try to describe these things in good detail for you. That's a sick bag, dude. Drip. I think you have. Your giant list that you have there. I know you have a big list of stuff. I imagine you have a bag
Huge.
on there. You definitely have a bag on there, don't you?
Yeah, sure do.
I can tell you what the bag is because you've talked about it many times.
Well, yeah, okay. The bags I like.
Yeah.
The Tom Talk stuff. I like
Yeah.
Tom Talk stuff a lot.
Oh yeah.
It looks good, and it's pretty high quality. I mean, for the price you're paying for it, it's damn high quality. And they
dude.
have, especially their newer stuff. I really like their newer stuff, but even the regular those semi-hard cases that they have in all those different colors for the Switch,
Yes.
like their simple little slim cases. Those are, like
right
that.
here. So I want to talk about this because
Yeah.
I'm not a bag guy. That's because I don't have any. But if I got into the bags for the tech, I probably would love it. I do actually have a backpack from, not tech related, but I bought a backpack from Herschel a long time ago because I had read it was a good quality company, and I got the bag and I fell in love with my Herschel bag. So I use that for my Switch stuff when I go travel, like when I went to Drip's house and we did the podcast. I stuck my whole desk setup that I take with me on the go. I took that in my backpack. It doesn't really work correctly though. Like it's just like basically a fabric capsule that you just jam stuff in. I used to use it for like clothes. That's why I bought it. I bought it for just sticking clothes in instead of carrying luggage around, and it worked for that. It gets the job done for the tech, but I would like something better. But as I was saying, I don't use the bags, but I do use the cases. And if I'm going to go with a slim case, it's the Tom Talk one, hands down. I mean, this Tom Talk one, first of all, this is the Tears Kingdom. It's not officially Tears Kingdom, but it is. It's a beautiful case. The inside is
My
beautiful.
only problem with those now is I use these, and it doesn't fit.
Right, Drip. And that's where my solution to my own problem here. Again, I got the big box I talked about a second ago. Those are big Joy-Cons. So what do? I actually have I slightly customized it. But this is the Satisfy. I don't know what it's called. It's the big boy case, the big Chungus case. And I think I got like some
Chungus.
I got some
That's
like,
what they call it on the website. It's definitely called
it's called Chungus. I got some like dried peanut butter or something on there. I don't know what that is. Don't ask me what it is. But like that's how you know I use this thing. Like this thing goes everywhere with me. And it also I don't want to do it all right now, but trust me, it does fit. I don't think it may not fit the bin box, but it does fit a lot of the alternative Joy-Cons, but also what it fits is not just Joy-Con alternatives. It also fits the Satisfy grip. And this, my friends, is my number one. There is no accessory that I've ever played with that is better than the Nintendo Switch Satisfy Zen Pro grip. This thing is beautiful. This is the OLED version.
It's all right, man. It's all right.
Let me tell you why it works. And it's because
it's not that great.
Drip.
Sorry, go ahead.
Drip.
Go ahead.
You'll have your second, Drip.
I know. God,
why-
it's not that great.
Why I love the Satisfy grip is first of all, the build quality. When you pick this thing up, it's very nice. It's got a little heft to it. It's got nice flex, but it feels like you're flexing hard plastic, not cheap plastic. The rubber grips on it, they're also very ergonomic. They cup into my hands very nicely. They also have the offset grip that everyone loves to talk about. The offset is important to me, especially for the Joy-Cons. It really makes that stick usable. And it just feels like when I put the Switch in there, it feels like a big unit, and I really like that. But it also gives me something to hold on to, and I can play the Switch for absolutely hours. Like, I kid you not.
Yeah.
I can play this thing I can play the lightest game possible for 10 hours and not have a problem. Whereas if I held the Switch without it, it would be like an hour max, and it hurt. Satisfy for me is my favorite grip, my favorite accessory.
That was definitely one of my favorites for a long time, and I do know one that you'll like even more. Whoa! Oh my face. Watch. Look, hold on. Watch. Let me see if I could do this. There's like a.
Oh yeah. What camera is that? What's that called? I was looking up that camera.
I did a video on it, so I can.
Okay.
Show just not show my forehead, but. It spices it up,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It has like hand gestures, but
that zoom was epic. I was like, "Whoa, where are we going?"
But they have a new one. It's called like the Ronin, and what it is, it's pretty much like a modified one that's now dockable, so you don't have to remove it to dock it, because that was one of the biggest issues.
Yes,
but I will say it does make a big deal. A big difference when you adjust your position of the right thumb on the analog stick. Because that's what it does. It's not. It's asymmetrical, which means the grips aren't, symmetrical, and that makes it so that thumb position, it doesn't wear you out after using it for like hours on end. It was my first favorite one because I have massive hands too. That matters. I always forget, but like if you have smaller hands, that thing is actually quite annoying because that thing is big.
It was my first favorite too. I will admit that. And they said the Ronin too, and the Ronin's better. I like the Ronin a little better because it's dockable. You don't take it off because taking that thing on and off. Yeah, it's in there tight.
Yeah, I just want to say, because I know you're going to take it in your direction, but before we go off of the Satisfy, I want to say about the Ronin, because I talked about the Zen Pro and not about the Ronin, and that's actually specific because we do actually have the Ronin in the house. My fiance uses it, not me, because she plays docked mode much more than I do. But there's one thing I don't like about the Ronin.
She has mine, doesn't she?
She does. Yeah, she does.
Yes.
There's one thing I don't like about it, and it's the cartridge slots on the back of the grip. And you may think, like, why would you not like added feature where there's cartridges? I would say I don't like it because that is exactly where my middle fingers, with the way I hold it, that's exactly where my middle fingers go. And I don't like the way it feels, whether there's a cartridge in there or not. It just doesn't. I just like this rubber so much.
It's worse when the cartridge isn't in there because it's like sharp.
Yes, it does feel like a little sharp, and it kind of ruins that illusion. Because this is just a bunch of plastic, but it ruins that illusion of like high quality build because I can feel that like sharp edge. This thing with the Zen Pro grip, it's all smooth with that nice soft rubber, and I don't feel that. So that's why I went with this one. I do stream, I do play on the Switch, I do have it docked. I just suck it up. I take it out of the Switch, and I don't complain about it. Back to you, Dirk.
Okay. It's good.
Okay, that thing's cool. It was my first favorite too, because at the time, Skull & Co. didn't have the Neo grip. Their first grip, Skull & Co. had, I didn't like. That big case with like the things that like grew out of it. I didn't really like that. I love the Neo grip for lots of reasons. One, it's basically nothing on the Switch. It's still a lot to hold on to, but you can switch out the size of the grips, which I love. I actually use the smaller ones more than anything, just because you can still put that on and fit it in like those Tom Talk cases. It still fits with the smaller ones on.
Yeah.
And I like colors. I like things to match. I like to change things around and have things, matchy, this and that. So the fact that they have all the colors is really, I think that's what really makes me gravitate towards the Skull & Co. stuff a little bit more.
Yeah, it's versatile, man. That versatility is like a big deal.
Yeah. I just like the way it looks. It just looks better. I mean, I know it doesn't have the asymmetrical grip, but I mean, you could actually make that, now that I'm thinking about it, if you wanted it. It could be asymmetrical, not really in a useful way, but you could put a small one on one side and like a big grip on the other side. You could totally do that.
That's what I did, yeah. It looks weird, but like, it gets people to come over to you and ask what it is.
Like,
you know,
what is that? Yeah.
Also, something I didn't consider until right now. If you have a 3D printer, I bet you could probably 3D print your own grips for the Skull and Co.
You probably could.
Which is not something
easily.
you can do for the Satisfy. So there's the point. I understand why people like the Skull and Co. I have multiple of their products as well.
Up until these, that's all I used was Skull and Co. And then whatever Joy-Cons I had in, I would just switch the colors out to match the Joy-Cons that I had.
It's not a knock on Skull and Co. It's a plus for Satisfy. Like, I just really like the Satisfy, but the Skull and Co. has its place. And again, people's hands are different. So like, if you think that the offset isn't very important, like I do, then that's okay. That's your hands, that's your body. Someone else who's like, I don't really care, it doesn't really bother me, that's also fine, you know? Whatever, man. Use whatever you want. This is why we're doing our favorites, not like what people tell you should be your favorite. You do whatever favorite you want. If you like some third-party one out there that's not either, well, they're all third-party. If you like some random Amazon one from some Haktua brand, you know, from Amazon, who cares? Like, that's the one you like. But, you know,
there are some good random ones out there.
Yeah, there are.
I mean, there really are. There are some that, like, you know, the $4 or $5 ones on Amazon. There are a few of them that are actually decent.
My first one, because Skull and Co. wasn't easily available at the time, or Satisfy, and my first one was an off-brand that was basically just a clone of Satisfy. It was the exact same thing, just their version of it, but it was identical mold. So I mean, you can get a cheaper one too. You know, it's whatever you want. Sergio, anything?
I will say this.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say that's what I love about accessories, though. It's just it's such an odd thing. But I grew up with Game Boy, where it's like, you know, they had all those crazy, insane. If you think what we have now is crazy, you should look back then.
Like a full kitted out Game Boy.
The green wiry slime light that would pop onto the top. Oh my God,
the magnifying glass.
Yeah. It's like
the battery packs, the speakers, like that.
It's how do we make a portable object the most unportable way, thing possible, right?
Yeah.
But like at least now it's gotten much better where there's tons of companies making things. So like just the Satisfy grip, massive grip, right? That's what their main thing is. It's asymmetrical. The Skull and Co. has options. So if you want versatility, people use the Switch, different sizes, whatever. For me now, I do love, grips. I've tried them all. The one thing I've gone back to first, dramatic camera, real quick, back up to the wide. Let's go down to the desk mode. Okay. So look, what I have here is one of my favorite cases.
Ooh.
I covered it before. This is the Sub case. Okay. This is Sub case by.
Dude, Sub case. I used to buy their phone cases back in the day.
Yeah. They make, I think it's phone cases and some other stuff, but they have this really kind of unique industrial design that I love. The grips aren't the best. They're very, what's the word? They're slightly textured. They're very minimal. But what I love about it is that it's a protective case with a front cover, which I love that because if you toss this in your bag, you don't have to worry about the screen getting scratched.
Yeah, it's just an all-in-one thing. That's cool.
Yeah. So then, the 5 game card slots on the front is a big deal. On the case itself, let me see if I get this on camera here. The joysticks, it has this kind of like risen part right here, or whatever the term would be, that protects it in your case, which I love. It's very slim and it's also dockable, guys. So you can, let me see. Yeah. So this is how it looks. Super thin.
Yeah.
You can dock it, so you don't have to remove it. And then the front cover actually goes on in the back. So if you want to extend that grip out a little bit, now you can play and you have a slightly bigger grip.
It's
awesome.
A really cool toy. That is like so cool. I've never seen that either.
Awesome.
And I've heard of Subcase.
It gets buried, man. It gets buried.
Yeah, it does. Because assholes like us talk about Satisfying Skull and Co. all day, and Subcase is out here making a quality product right there.
That's super cool. Yeah.
It blew my mind because at first I was like, wait, this just covers about everything I want in like a low profile Switch case,
Yeah.
Of course, the only thing is it doesn't, protect the shoulder buttons, but that's
a little
common.
bit of downer. That's a little bit of downer because it needs protection. If it's going to be a case, it needs to protect those buttons because those break.
Still, though,
if you drop it.
Yeah,
I really like the fact that you take the front off and it just connects to the back. You don't have anything laying around.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
cool.
Dude.
That's cool.
That was a huge deal. I didn't know it did that, by the way. I bought it and it was like a month later and someone said, "Oh, I love that part." And I said, "Oh, crap. You can just turn that around."
Yeah, me too.
It's super versatile.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's really neat. That's a really neat. That's one I'd love to have just because like it's cool. That's the kind of stuff I like. Just like neat stuff like that. They're kind of novel, but it does serve a function and a purpose. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Let me see here. I got another one on my list we can talk about. Top of the list. I want to talk about this real quick. because for a long time I kind of crapped on the 8-bit DOE adapter that makes other controllers work on the Nintendo Switch. And and that's because it was user. I'm here to admit now that was user error. It needed a firmware update, and I didn't know that. So after I updated the firmware, before the firmware, it was laggy. It was not working properly. I was trying to use the PS5 controller on the Switch, and it was just not working. And I was like, yeah, this thing's kind of crap. I don't really like it. But now, after the firmware update, it's working beautifully. I'm playing using the PS5 controller on my Switch. And it's $20. It's a dongle that allows you to use PS5, Xbox, and probably third-party ones for those systems as well on your Nintendo Switch. Just plug it into the dock, connect it like you would connect a regular Pro Controller to the dongle itself. And then a fun fact, that dongle, you can actually unplug it, and I plugged it into my Steam Deck dock for a quick and easy transfer of controllers without having to repair. So I'm using my PS5 controller on my Switch, unplug the dongle, put it into the Steam Deck one, using the same controller on the Steam Deck seamlessly without having to unpair and repair. If you guys use controllers like that, you know it's a pain. So that's actually a nice little feature. And it's like I said, $20. It's a cheap little thing. And it works really nicely if you have multi-consoles and you want to use something else other than the Pro Controller, or if you don't have a Pro Controller, but you do have a PS5 controller or whatever you have, you can use that on your Switch. So I like that.
Dude, that's a crazy way to save money, by the way. Like, I think about every time I think about this stuff, I think about as a kid, I didn't have a lot of money.
Yes,
but the idea of buying a controller for $50 was crazy. I was like, okay, that's going to be on my birthday, which is like a year away.
Yeah.
But now, dude, if a $20 adapter lets you use something else you have, that's awesome, dude. I'm all about versatility and like having that kind of accessibility for stuff.
Yeah, just make sure your firmware is up to date because it was unusable without it. And that there's some, it's not perfect, right? Because then if you get it out of the box and the firmware is not updated, if you're a little kid, you might not have the skill or the knowledge how to get that firmware up to date. So that's just a little PSA. If you do plan on getting one, at least have a PC at your disposal.
I feel like at this point, the ones they're sending out are probably updated. I would imagine.
Probably.
Hopefully,
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, everything they put out's pretty damn good. I feel like they're not going to just keep putting that thing out with not updated firmware.
And
right?
not on my list, but quick shout out to 8-bit DOE. Nothing of theirs is on my list because I don't have anything of theirs at the moment. I used to have the SN30 Pro Plus, and I sold it, but I did like it. It's a great D-pad. Just a quick shout out to 8-bit DOE. They make good stuff.
Dude, I love 8-bit DOE. And I have something in this bag from 8-bit DOE.
You guys go. I'm going to grab something. They just sent something. That's cool.
Oh.
I'm gonna get it.
What happens if he just doesn't come back?
It's the Jeep and Sergio podcast.
I haven't opened it yet, but it's blue. And it's
yeah, dude. That colorway looks awesome, dude.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I haven't opened it up yet. I'm going to do a video on that and like 2 other controllers that are just basically different color. I feel like you can't do a full video on this controller since I've already done one, but
I don't know, you could.
Gives you another reason, dude. Rank up that hashtag, man. They sent me the green one. I didn't even know it was green. They said they're going to send one, and I got the green one. I was like, dude, it's green. What?
Yeah. This one showed up the other day. I was like, oh my, blue. Okay,
I prefer that one. That's the one that looks awesome.
I mean, the picture on the box looks great. I haven't seen it in person yet. I'm gonna wait and open it like in the video, but
I just say another honorable mention, and this is a generality: transparent tech. Transparent Nintendo Switch accessories. More, please. Us 90s babies.
Oh, yeah.
Nintendo needs to do
more.
that.
We need more transparent stuff in our life.
Yeah, that's on Nintendo. Awesome. They did it the 64 era, like hard.
Yes.
Hard. Yeah. That was awesome, dude. That's I think that's what probably made it popular in the first place, dude. All those colors, just neon bright crystal shells, look incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
Sergio,
too.
Whatever. What do you like to talk about next?
Okay. All right, let's see.
We're going to the bag. Going back to the bag.
Okay. So, in here next. Okay. So yeah, this is Genki's Covert Dock 2.
Yes.
This is always in the bag just because of how versatile it is. I love this thing. My exposure's blown out, but you'll get an idea of it. What you need to know about it: it's portable, of course. It's a multi-device compatible charger, pretty much. It's got USB-C 3.2, USB 2.0, HDMI, so it can power the Switch, so you can connect it to a display via HDMI, but it also has that USB port, which lets you link devices to it. So if you wanted to attach an adapter to it or something like that, All you have to do is just plug it in right there. But more importantly, if you have like a laptop, it can charge your laptop. It can charge your phone. So it has like multiple uses, which I love. It has the prongs on the back.
Love it.
But yeah, I absolutely love this thing. It's always in the bag.
Yeah, I have one of those hooked up in my car.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have a Honda Pilot, and it's got like a DVD player for the kids in the back, like a little flip down screen.
That's awesome.
So I got the little conversion thing for the whatever it is, the red, yellow, white. What's it called? The component cable or whatever.
Component cables. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I got the conversion to HDMI so that they can play Switch on the screen together in the back. But I have that in the console as the dock.
That's awesome. Yeah,
it works out well.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's awesome. It's such a versatile thing. I have a Honda, by the way, so Honda Bros.
Hey, Honda. Hey, we're Honda guys. You know.
My brother is a what used to be. He's now moved on to school buses, but he used to be a certified. Well, he is a certified Honda mechanic. So
good.
Get him on here, dude.
Honda connection.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, you don't want to hear my brother. You don't want to hear my brother.
Yes, get Kenny
No,
on
I
here,
would love
please.
to. Brother, come on the show. He's actually has he been on the show? I don't think we have.
He is not on the show. God, we should have him on the show.
We need to have him on the show. I can't believe it's been. We've been doing this for 3 years now. I haven't had my brother. I stream on Twitch, so my brother's. He's been out there. People know
his brother basically sounds like Rocky. Like, just imagine Sylvester Stallone.
Dude, I love Rocky. I love Rocky. Okay,
I'm from the Philadelphia area, so my brother is too. So but honestly, he doesn't sound like Rocky. He sounds like he's from Brooklyn. For some weird reason, my brother has developed a Brooklyn accent, never coming from Brooklyn, and I don't understand why.
It's survival, dude. That's what happens. You probably you need it to survive where he's at.
So I live in Illinois now, so I don't sound like a Yooper, don't you know? So don't do that.
You can.
I can if I wanted to. I actively try to avoid it. Like my fiance is from here, and being around her all the time, and I can hear it sometimes. It starts to change, and I'm like, nope, gotta stop that right now. You ain't gonna sound like a Uber today.
I do that thing where I like copy everyone's accent, but not on purpose. So if you have an accent, eventually I'll start using it without knowing it, and then stop immediately because I'm realizing how offensive it is.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I want to keep
love that.
I want to keep it with the small docks because you brought up your small dock. Don't take that out of context.
Size doesn't matter.
Size doesn't matter. It actually does matter because the small docks are really portable and nice. And actually, this is a full-blown Nintendo Switch dock converted into a small one. I believe this is like version 1 of this product. They actually have a different one now. They don't even sell this case anymore. This is the version that doesn't have like a spring to it. It just kind of like plops your Switch in there. Don't love that, and the new ones are much nicer. I've seen them. But this is, if you guys are afraid, because there was that big period of time where any third-party dog was off limits for a lot of people because their bricking Switches was happening, and people just kind of stayed away.
One dock, though.
I know it's you know how the internet works. People got the
fear. It was a lot of docks, dude.
Okay.
You'll see. I'll show you something.
It was one. Yeah, that problem's not a problem anymore, though, right?
No. Genki's pretty much solved that. They released a lot of info out that people are like, oh, look, this is all it is, and for the most part, I don't think most people have seen that anymore. Any more like
you don't hear about it a lot anymore.
Yeah, I don't hear about it.
It's very rare. I'd say it's very rare, but it's still a chance, you know.
So I had an extra regular Nintendo Switch dock, and these were like $10 off Amazon. So I was like, I have a screwdriver set. I can try to figure this out, and I did, and it works great.
Super easy.
I bring it on vacation every year. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's very small, but it has all the same components as your regular Switch dock, and obviously, there's no need to worry if you are worrying about that third-party dock will break your Switch. This is not third-party. This is just a shell. And again, they sell a nicer version of this. So there's actually a nicer version of this that you can buy. So I do recommend if you guys have a screwdriver set, you can do this. It's very, very simple. You'd be surprised. Actually, you shouldn't be because you're looking at it right here. The dock is very tiny. There's a lot of plastic happening in this dock, in your Nintendo Switch dock, your regular one, that is not necessary. Like I have a pile of Nintendo Switch dock plastic for a rainy day. It's like you just remove all the extra nonsense, and there you go. You got a small little dock.
It's pretty much to make it like fail-proof. So when you put your dock in, it won't disrupt the connection with the USB-C. But I mean, if you can use that dock, you're pretty much all set.
Yeah, and Drip left again. He's never done this, and he's done it like twice in like 5 minutes. Where are you going, Drip?
I had a small dock I was going to bring over, but I can't find it.
Okay. I was going
to bring over
my dock's smaller than yours.
yours. You definitely have the smallest dock. I think of our threes, Jeeb's dock might be the biggest. The
You're
one I was
here,
gonna,
folks.
The one I was gonna bring out was the Skull and Co one that's got the little thing in the back.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's a cool little one too, because it's got that little thing that comes out, and you can use that for like a computer or whatever. If you've got a USB-C port, it's basically just a port for HDMI or whatever USB. It's nice. It's a good one. I have it somewhere right back there. I just didn't want to take an hour to find it, but that's a good one too.
Yeah.
I want to shout out the Twitch or the Twitch chat, the YouTube chat here, kind of going off on us here. Jeff says they're average size docks, Jeeb, and then and we had some other banter in the comments about dock sizes and Cali.
Small dog gang.
Yeah, small dog gang. You guys are making me laugh. Appreciate you. Yeah, actually, moving off of docks, unless there's somebody has another dock accessory they want to talk about.
No more dock jokes, please.
Dude, I have like 50 over there. You want me to bring some docks over here, dude? I'll bring them over.
It's okay. I want to talk about, because I talked about custom shells, I want to talk about quick shout out to custom shell your Joy-Cons when you customize your own Joy-Cons. My lighting is bad right now. But I have, this is, what brand is this? That's the one everyone
Extreme
has.
Rate.
Extreme Rate. These are the Extreme Rate
1000%.
shells.
It's definitely,
Yeah, these are the Extreme Rate shells. These are the clear ones. A fun fact, I actually made these for my sister because I was giving her one of the Switches I didn't need anymore. And I reshelled the Joy-Cons because they were in disarray. And I was like, wait a minute, I need these. These are too cool to give to my sister. So I kept them.
Love them, dude.
I kept them for myself. Also, they have the Hall Effect joysticks from what's that brand? Brand names right now are escaping me.
Ghoulie Kit?
Ghoulie Kit, yes. These are not in my favorite tech spot. I hate the Ghoulie Kit sticks, and
They don't feel great.
I should put that in my list that I forgot to add to my list. But
they feel weird.
They just want to talk
really
about
feel
quickly reshelling your Switch Joy-Con shells. If you know how to do it, if you have some patience, and again, if it's a screwdriver set with a couple, squeegees, what are they called? Spudgers. You got a quick, you've got a set. It's actually not that hard to do. And the more you do, the more you learn. So I've done like 4 or 5 of these sets at least, and they turn out great.
I will say, watch the ribbon cables.
Yes.
The ribbon cables are so freaking thin, dude.
That's the worst part.
I recorded a video where like I'm swapping it out real quick, and it's just as soon as I close it, you can see the ribbon cable off the side just rip. And it's like I had to cancel that video, but it's just so terrible, dude. It's like $70 down the drain. No, like $50.
Yeah. It depends which ribbon cable, on which side, because some parts are the Joy-Cons are pretty. I'm losing my words right now. What's the word I'm looking for?
Repairable, I guess.
Repairable, modular is the word I'm looking for. They're pretty modular. So if you break something on a part of it, there's a good chance you can actually find a part somewhere, like just replace that part you broke. But some parts on here are not. For example, I had to do a repair on one where the bumper was broken on one and not on the other. And it turns out on one side, I don't remember what side it is, but one side, that's a modular piece you could just buy a
You're talking about the actual button inside?
The actual button inside.
And it feels modular. Different, doesn't it?
What do you mean? It feels different.
It feels different. I had the same problem, and I put one of those new buttons in, and I couldn't even use the Joy-Cons anymore because it feels completely different than the other one. I'm like, nope.
Well, so where I was going,
these are dead to me.
Where I was going was it was on the wrong side. It was on the side of I think it's the left Joy-Con where it's soldered to the board. So if it breaks, you have to unsolder stuff, and I'm not comfortable doing that. So I just sold the board for parts and bought a good parts board to use. But yeah, on the other side that didn't break, the right bumper didn't break. That's a modular piece that you can just buy a new one. I guess, Drip, you're saying that if it feels different. I mean, you could say that about
like the button press feels different. I can't do it. I'm like,
you can say that about the Joy-Con sticks though. If you replace your sticks, they do feel different. I don't know. It doesn't bother me that much because really, who's using Joy-Cons anymore when you got all these third-party alternatives? I
mean, we could talk about that for a second.
Sure.
How we're talking about all these awesome Nintendo accessories. None made by Nintendo. None of them. None.
Hey, you know what? Maybe they own some of those companies and they just don't want you to know.
Maybe.
It's like those people who own like every single company, every brand in the grocery aisle. Like it's just one company.
Oh yes, yeah, I've seen those videos. I mean, I wish that was the case, but like the thing I go back to all the time is when the Switch was announced. and then all these like renders started popping up online, and we had like the GameCube Joy-Cons, like, oh, Nintendo's totally gonna do those. And then all these other ones we saw, like, oh, look at those Joy-Cons, those are cool, this and that. And we're talking about, you know, like big, comfortable Joy-Cons, like controllers. Nintendo hasn't made anything. They haven't made anything. It's the Joy-Cons.
What's crazy is that even the things they make, a lot of them are almost limited, because like some of the accessories they released, like remember that there was a little dock they made. I don't know if you remember. It came out, I think, around when the Switch Lite came out. It's a little square dock. All it does, it's like a kickstand for you to connect and charge your Switch. So if you want to put it on a tabletop or something.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
That was out for like a year and then disappeared. Like they stopped making it. And it really I mean, honestly, all it is that they're getting a cut from all these official third-party licensed accessories that they don't have to do anything themselves. They just rake in the cash.
Yeah.
Why spend time
like
working with
like the ones that get to use their actual you know, the Marios, the Zeldas for their controllers and stuff. Yeah, I mean that's but just like you look at like the like Nixie, they've got them, and who else put them out? Binbach, but whatever company they call that other company that they have, they've got actual GameCube Joy-Cons, and they're both good. They're both good. Like, why can't we get like an official version of that? Like, I look at like the 64 controller they put out for the NSO, and it's so nice because it's just like, you know, it feels just like the old one. It's like, you know, you can get you can get a 64 controller anywhere, but not like that. You know what I mean? Not like that.
Yeah.
It feels like it did back then. Give me Joy-Cons that feel like that GameCube controller. Like exactly. Like I want that so bad. And I honestly can't believe they never did it.
I mean, what's funny is that they have that GameCube controller. Remember the wireless GameCube one they released when Smash Brothers was big? But the problem is that it's not even from Nintendo. It's from PowerA, I think.
Right, yeah.
So it's also a third party that's manufacturing their own devices that they made in the past.
Yeah.
So I think honestly, it just to me feels like they're just doing it to save money, because they're getting such a big cut from officially licensed accessories.
Yeah, because a lot like PowerA, I do like their stuff, but for the most part, those are kind of cheapy devices. They're not worth like $50 the Pro controller. That's not, you know, it's like a $30 controller, maybe $40 back.
I mean, if
years
you wait
ago.
a little bit, you can
well,
get
yeah, but I'm just talking about like
designs.
What you're getting. It's like you're ordering a large fry and getting a small fry. It's like it's not exactly. I'm not $50. I should be getting a bit more out of it than I think I am. Because you can look at a company like
stuff.
You can look at a company like
have any type of rumble. I don't think.
Right. You can look at a company like Moped. Like Moped, it's got everything a Joy-Con has, but more. Like literally, it's not just like an ad read point. It's true, and it's more expensive. Yeah, for sure.
That's also, and as a heads up, what I learned is that once you're officially licensed, you're playing by their rules. So you're not allowed to use things like HD Rumble. You're not allowed to, I think, what is it? Like any proprietary stuff in the Joy-Cons, they want to avoid competition with. So they sort of limit what you can do with it. Yeah. And that's why when you see third parties who are not officially licensed, they make some of the best stuff because of that reason. They're not limited by those, by those officially licensed rules.
It took a while too for them to start, for these companies to start putting in like the HD Rumble and stuff. Like this is a recent thing. We didn't have HD Rumble in any third-party thing for a while. And I remember this was years ago, before, oh God, this was so long ago. But Binbog, I was talking to them on Twitter, and they were designing the GameCube Joy-Cons that they put out and the big ones that they just put out recently. And I mentioned to them, like, are you going to put HD Rumble in them? They're like, it's too expensive. It's just too expensive. But then
it's proprietary tech. Yeah.
Then a year later, like these have it. The other controller Moped put out has it. What else has it? There's a few more I have here, not from Moped, that have HD Rumble. But it's not like, it's not the same motors. You can tell.
It's not the same.
It's not quite as good. It still does the same type of thing. It's just
it's
not
a cool
nearly
feel, and it's better than like overwhelming, normal motors.
It's not,
but it's not
whatever's
exactly
in the
on par with what the Nintendo does.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a whole episode on HD Rumble, just because I have like some of the devices that I have, they let you adjust Rumble. And some people think that HD Rumble is just a more powerful Rumble, but really what it is, it's more detailed. Remember, like when they announced it, they show you like how you can, what's that, 1-2 switch? Yeah, exactly.
The ice
it gives you those details
and stuff.
which is awesome. But if you think about it, most of the games people play don't use that kind of rumble technology. They don't attach that rumble to things that happen in game. So it's a waste of money a lot of the time. So that's why you don't see people going crazy for it. And they just give you basic rumble motors on there to save money and keep the price low.
Yeah. I feel like with stuff like that, it's always like that first like 1 or 2 games that come out from the company who did it. Like there's like one part in Mario Odyssey when you're like in a room and you get closer to it and you have to find the thing that's under the ground. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. It's
HD Rumble in that situation's like, oh, okay, that's cool. This works. 1-2 switch, obviously used it. Other than that, I mean, Luigi's Mansion 3 actually used it a lot too. It was good in Luigi's Mansion 3.
Games, a lot of games, especially first-party ones, they do use it, Drip. I know that you may not notice it as well unless it's those few games, but like they use it, and I notice it because it's really noticeable if you pick up a controller like Breath of the Wild. If you play Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, and like the one scene I'm thinking about was when in Breath of the Wild when I first played it. Remember that wasn't that a good time? The first divine beast, and for me that was Varuda, and it was coming out of the ground. Out of the water with the water one. Is that the right one? It was coming out of the water. It was blowing its elephant's trunk. The water was spraying everywhere. And the thing is, and I was using at the time, I was using the 8-bit Do SN30 Pro Plus. And that has regular motors. And it was just, now that was cool and immersive because I like Rumble. I'm the kind of guy who likes Rumble. But then you pick up a Pro controller and feel that same experience. It's much different. Now, I'm not saying it feels like exactly like Waterfall. Like, it's not like that. But it's a different feel, like you said. It's more detailed. It's more precise, and it's intentional instead of just on and off Rumble. It's more intentional, and I like that about HD Rumble.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, PlayStation has it too. I mean, same general concept, whatever they call
it.
And
they don't even use it that much either.
No,
if you think about it, there's like probably a handful of games that you can notice.
The thing that's in their triggers, though, that is crazy.
I don't like it.
They don't use that much either, but that is nuts.
I don't like it.
I will say, you know what the problem with those are, though? The springs inside are cheap, and they break. I had them break. My son was playing with them, and the right one was completely loose. So when they break, it sort of breaks that whole thing. It's a pain in the butt, too. It's expensive, too.
Yeah, and it's not as easy as a Joy-Con repair. Those things are complicated inside. Just the triggers alone are crazy complicated to fix and replace. I wouldn't go near that if it was me. Yeah. Anyway, Drip, you kind of skipped to the end of the show. Well, kind of. A middle end of the show. There's still a few more I want to get to as far as good accessories.
Let's get to them.
And there's one that I can't live without. There's actually one on my 64 controller that I showed you a minute ago. There's some, not on these because I don't use these. There's some on these, my Mario Reds I got over here. That is the Skull & Co. Yes, I do like Skull & Co. stuff. These Skull & Co. stick caps. I can't live. Can I get it to focus? I can't live without Skull & Co. stick caps on all of my devices. Every one that I have.
Whoa.
If I'm using a Switch Pro controller, a PlayStation controller, anything, I need to have the Skull & Co. caps. I love them that much. They're so rubbery. They're so soft.
I will say, I don't use them, but I will say you are right. Those, if I'm going to use them, those are probably the only ones I will use because they're like the only ones that don't mess up the range of the stick. All the other ones are too big on the bottom and you can't even push the stick. Those are the only ones that I've used that actually don't mess that up.
Yeah, they feel so good. I just kind of swap them out. If I change controllers, I just take them off, pop them on the other one I'm using because I need them that badly, especially on Joy-Con. They just feel so good, and I love.
I'm too rough on.
I'm the concave kind of guy.
Flip them off all the time.
I use the concave, or I use. They sell them. It's like $10. You get 3 of them. You get a regular kind of small one that's just like this. You get a bigger one that is like this concave kind of.
You get the stack.
Or you can get the big one that stacks, like Drip just said, and then you get like a big one that raises off the stick, and that's good for Joy-Con too, because then it raises up the stick, gives it a little bit more range, which I like.
Yeah.
I end up flipping them off. Every time I have them, I'm just pushing so hard that they just fly off. So
Very rarely for me, it does that.
I can't help it. I just get very angry when I play Switch. It's those damn Joy-Cons, they just piss me off.
Any other favorite Switch accessories you guys want to go over before we kind of?
We still got stuff in the bag. I want to see what else is in the bag.
Yeah, finish your bag out, dude.
You're gonna want to see the last one, man.
Yeah, finish it out.
The last one on here. All right, Dust Mode. So this one I'm actually featuring it, and what's funny is that this is not even out yet. This is the Genki / 8-bit Do SN30 Pro that I can't get on camera. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is for their Kickstarter that they just released. You know, Genki has like a new Kickstarter every freaking year that's massively successful. This is one of the items on that list. Yeah, and it's pretty much an SN30 Pro, a different version in this kind of like clear, foggy white that looks awesome. It's got their new, the buttons in their new logo color or whatever. Awesome controller. If you haven't used it before, it doesn't have all the fancy features. It's pretty much an essentials kind of gamepad, but it has Hall effect joysticks, which I love. And the D-pad, I'm a big fan of this D-pad. In a lot of the games I play, I end up actually using it. So yeah, this is the last one on there. I'm going to do a video on this one this week. So if you guys are watching, check that out. Absolutely love this colorway. And yeah, I'm a big 8-bit Do / Genki fan. So yeah.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah, that is nice. I like that.
Yeah, and that's all in the bag. So
I really like the bag itself. Really like that bag.
Is awesome.
Is that a fanny pack?
Water resistant.
Is it a fanny pack?
Yeah, you can fanny it, dude.
Dude, it looks like I love fanny packs, dude. I'm a fanny pack boy.
It's over. That's it. That's all you need.
It's a sling. You can fanny it. You can, wear it on the front too, which is great, so you don't get robbed.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
I prefer my fanny packs on the front. I guess I'm a fronty pack.
There you go, dude. Yeah.
You are. That works.
Yeah. Let's not spend too much time on this because, I'm not here to trash anybody. There's one I want to trash, but for the most part, let's talk about a few that we don't like all that much. I'll start because I know this is kind of hard for me to kind of find make a list of things I don't like. I don't like naked Joy-Con. Not a fan of naked Joy-Con. They hurt to use, particularly in handheld mode. When you're using it as a controller, like to waggle, play your Switch Sports and whatnot, that's fine. I don't mind them there. Sideways though, don't do that.
Oh, it's the
don't
worst.
do that. That's why we're here to tell you about other good accessories you can get, like that controller he just showed, instead of using a sideways Joy-Con because that's pretty small.
There's so many good small controllers. Don't do that.
But yeah, don't use the Joy-Con without a grip on the Switch handheld. It's just I can't stand. I almost never do it. Actually, I never do it. That's my big.
I used to do it, and then I got like.
Yes.
Do you guys do that when you don't have anything on your Switch? Do you put your pinkies underneath of it to like hold it up?
Yes, that's what I do. My phone
and then
too.
I just get pain everywhere. We're shooting down my arms. That's why I can't do it. I agree with you completely.
Yeah. Anything you don't like, Sergio?
Oh, dude, I brought stuff, man.
Cool.
I'm gonna go back to Death Mode for you. All right.
Beautiful.
First one that I don't like at all. Absolutely hate it, but everyone told me to get them. You know what they are? Any guesses?
Split Pad Pro.
Split Pad Pros.
No. Knives, dude.
Oh,
knives.
yes.
Remember these?
So funny.
This came out. Every single comment was like, dude, get these knives. Get these knives.
For why?
For what?
I spent $50 on these things. They're so badly 3D printed.
Oh,
look
my
at this.
God.
I don't know if you can see it or not.
Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's horrific.
It's terrible.
It looks like they're rubbed in toothpaste.
Wait, those are $50?
Yeah, it was an Etsy purchase, and I didn't want to do it. I actually don't like buying 3D printed stuff on Etsy because it's so badly done. Yeah. But yeah, I bought these, and I was like, okay, you know what? This better pay off, and it did. I'm not gonna lie. But I absolutely love the idea of using these in public, maybe on a bus or something, to see what happens.
Oh my God, where do you live? Because I wouldn't do that in Chicago. Dude. Let me tell you something.
Oh, I know. Oh yeah, let's not go there. My wife's going to Chicago, so maybe she can take these, I guess. But yeah, dude, these are like Rambo knives for your joysticks, and your Joy-Cons. But dude, I absolutely hate the build quality on these. And they're probably the least, the accessory I've used the least.
Why don't they include brass knuckle?
One.
They should have included brass knuckle pieces so that you can get the full effect, stabbing a brass,
Like, where are you using them? What game are you using those for?
Well,
where it's like,
hold on.
Dude, Mario Kart, dude. Mario Kart. Like,
it's cutthroat to the new level.
The person beside you just kind of.
So
there is one game. There's one game I want to mention for those. I don't have it, but like there's the Skyward Sword version of that product. That's the Skyward Sword instead of just a random knife. That one, I would use that on stream for a gag because it's funny with the waggle and everything.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some sense to it though. There's no Rambo.
There's no sense. There's no what game are you stabbing people in? Also, you can actually stab somebody with those. Like that's dangerous. Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, that's good.
It's no bueno.
No bueno. Yeah.
That's good. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, no one was, dude. And I'm glad no one was around because that's an awkward thing to hold around here.
It's really funny.
Oh, man.
I can't top that. I'm getting more serious because we found out earlier that all three of us have this on our list because it's the worst product that I've used that is a Joy-Con. And
it's just disappointing.
It's the worst one. And I don't mean that in like the crazy harsh way. I'm just like, I've used a lot of them. And that's the worst one I've used. And that would be the one you can buy at any store, the Hari split pads. They're not good. And they're a bit overpriced because they lack all the features that everyone else has. They lack gyro.
Yeah, but you can get them with Link on them. You can get them with Mario
They lack rumble. And here's the big kicker. They lack a battery. You have to either have them plugged in on the sides of your Switch or they are paperweights.
You can't even use, you can't even aim in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. You can't even aim your bow with those on there.
No.
Yeah. That's it. Right there. As soon as I realized you can't even do that, I'm like, I'm done. Like, I don't need these for any, these are pointless. Like, they have zero features. And how much are they? They're like $50, right?
Yeah, it's like 50, I think. Yeah, they have new ones coming out. Like the licensed ones always cost more. I think once again, this comes back to like being officially an officially licensed product.
Yeah.
They have to play by Nintendo's rules, and I think that is probably why they're not wireless. I really think that's what it is. Also to keep the price down, of course, right? Because you remember they have to give a cut to Nintendo, and they want to make a profit. Yeah. To make them if they were wireless, they'd be way better.
Yes,
way better.
100%. 100%.
They're very accessible too. Like, as in, you can go to a Target right now and get some. That's one of the good things about it.
My buddy lives down the street from me. His kids destroy Joy-Cons all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Constantly. And he's always messing me. What about these? I'm like, yeah, it's always split pad something. I'm like, they're all right. I mean, they got nothing. But if you're going to have to buy a bunch of pairs of them, I mean, if you're getting them on sale, he's like, I got a deal on them. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I got them, and all this, I didn't even mention my least favorite part about them. It is actually using them. Number one, they say that they're the first fat Joy-Cons, but I don't find them that fat. There's not much meat to hold on to. And not only that, there's like a point to each like, you know, palm part that pokes me right in my palm. And it's very uncomfortable. And not even that, the buttons are mushy, and I do not like them.
Yeah, I don't like the buttons.
They're flat. Yeah.
I don't like them. I like nothing about them.
The compacts are a little bit better. As far as comfort goes, as far as comfort, they feel better, but they still don't have any features. They still don't have anything.
Yeah, they're just run-of-the-mill controllers, really. That's all they are. It's like the is it PDP or Power A's? Like, you know, they have those. If you need a controller for the sake of a controller that you can find at Walmart or anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So
now Joy-Con are expensive, and I know that's something people say that the Haris are affordable, which I understand. But here's the thing: they're not cheaper than the Joy-Cons that come with your Switch for free. So how about you just buy a Satisfy or a Skull & Co. or just find a grip that you like for more than half the price of a Hari split pad, and you get a better experience by a mile.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's nothing about the Haris I have good to say.
I'm not a big fan of them.
Yeah,
I don't like them. I had the original ones too, the ones with the Damon X Machina X on the X button.
Yeah, that's the one I have. Yeah.
Do I still have those here? I'm not gonna go look for them, I swear. But I think I still have them here somewhere.
Yeah. So that's anything else? Any honorable mentions or anything like that before we move on?
So I got two more.
Cool.
Real quick, if you want me to show you.
Please do.
The first one's gonna be my controversial take, and it's something that I love the idea of, but then what is it, like 7 years later? I absolutely hate. Can you guess what it is?
I can't.
I don't even want to try.
There's too many to think about
now.
Labo.
Wow.
Dude, remember this stuff?
Oh man.
Look how I loved the idea.
I never bought any of it. I never got any of it.
This is so frustrating because as someone who has, to store these somewhere, It's cardboard. This is not going to last anywhere near as long as you think it will. I love the imaginative aspect of it. It was like Legos almost for kids, right? So they can do something fun. But cardboard is frustrating, man. To fold this correctly, and if you do it wrong, and if you can step on this, and it completely ruins it. But then you also have to buy it to get the game, and it's a cool idea. I bought I think it was like 2 of them when they came out. And I didn't even open the second one. I didn't even feature this because I was so upset with the idea that long term, this is just going to end up in the trash. And I think that's sort of what they wanted. But if you think about it, you sort of need this to play that game. And it was such a weird accessory that I appreciate them exploring something new. But man, it frustrates me so much now.
I get that. That's actually the first negative review I've heard of Lavo. Mainly because I'm not looking up Lavo.
Yeah,
reviews.
There's a lot of negative reviews.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there aren't any more. I'm just saying I haven't heard
the
really
later kits. Though,
that's a perspective I haven't really heard on Lavo.
What was the later one? It was like the
VR.
The VR thing with the trunk or whatever. That one.
That one's cool because it works with what is it? Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, which
and Smash. You can watch people. Yeah, you can watch people play Smash in VR, which is interesting.
That was way better than because at least you can use that again. And they sold third-party VR headsets that are actually plastic, so you could have it long term. And then the last one is in this box. So no, but go for it. I'm not sure if you wanted to add to that.
One quick thing I'll add to it is that I don't have Labo, never even held it before. I think the idea is awesome. But what you say is completely valid. That's it's true. It's not going to last very long, and it's cardboard. It's more of you have to understand you're buying very expensive cardboard, and it's not going to last very long. You're buying it for the experience, not for the product.
I mean, if you're a parent, dude, and you have kids with a bunch of toys, what do you do when you see a bunch of cardboard tied up and there's it's broken up and everything?
Little Jimmy's at it again, Drip. He spilled all over his Labo. It's the juice, the orange juice destroyed the Labo. What are you gonna do?
Okay, so look, guys.
Well, I'm sorry, dude. The one thing I want to add is that the really dumb thing about Labo is when you could the VR headset. It's a cool idea, but you have to hold it to your face. So how are you supposed to play the game while you're holding it to your face? You don't have 4 hands. That's my complaint.
It's about
you just pin it against the wall, dude. You just walk up to a wall and pin it against the wall. You don't look weird doing that at all. It's fine. That's how you do it.
Guys, show us what's in the box. I want to see.
Okay, so I mentioned this I think towards the beginning when we talked about docks.
Okay.
There is actually a lot of docks, and this is my coffin for third-party docks. This is when I first started doing Switch videos. This is, I think it's probably 12. What is it, 12 docks or something? This is the graveyard where docks were dangerous. I tested all these out. I didn't have a problem with them, but as soon as I made a video, I got so much backlash for it. It was crazy. This brand here, let me see if I can find a way to show you this one. This brand here, they sent it to me, and they were so into the idea of a portable dock that I told them, hey, because it's a third-party dock, it's not safe. I can't feature it because, it's someone's going to buy it and it's going to get damaged or switch, and it's on me at that point. So they got extremely pissed off at me. They started commenting on all my videos saying that, hey, we sent him a dock and he didn't feature it. He stole it from us. And I said, I'm going to send it back. They didn't want to. And then they disappeared. The brand disappeared. It was in California. And a few people's this dock broke people's switches and they just disappeared. Poof. I'm guessing bankrupt. I hope so. Because if you're,
that's
crazy. That's nuts.
Yeah. So, and even Nyko's in here. So Nyko started that.
That was the one. Too. That was the one right there, wasn't it? That's
There's
the
a few,
right there.
This one, this one's here. There's a few in here.
Is that the Best Buy one?
This is the Nyko one. Yeah, that's the Best Buy one.
Yeah, I have that.
And this is the Nyko one. But yeah, this came out. This is an official third-party company that these are all having issues. And this is the graveyard, man. I'm still looking for the if a dock causes any issue, it goes in here. But at that point, I hated those old ones, man. It's just pain in the butt. I couldn't feature them, and they cost a lot.
Yeah.
Can't confirm though. They all came from a box. Can't confirm that.
I hope so.
I can't confirm. I can't confirm that.
I absolutely hate when they come in a bag, dude. Because then I get the comment, and I'm like, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Anybody live in Canada where you gotta get your milk in a bag? That sounds like a terrible idea. I prefer my milk in a box. Anyway, Make sure to follow Sergio at It Came From a Box. That's why I brought that up, because this channel is called
Good one, dude. Nailed it.
I am a joke smith.
You are.
We are the home of Bill
Hilarious.
Cosby in Philadelphia. Oh, that's not a good reference to use.
No, it's
Boom,
not.
boom, boom, boom.
Great sweaters. Great sweaters.
Yep.
Sweaters didn't do anything.
It's true.
Okay. Moving on to our last segment here, which is things that we kind of already alluded to and touched on a good bit of them. Things that we missed out on this generation that we didn't get first party from Nintendo, and kind of where we want to see what we want to see Nintendo do, like what direction of first party Nintendo Switch accessories do we want to see Nintendo make. It's kind of all the same idea. We talked about the GameCube, Nixie Wizard, and the Binbach, whatever they're called, I don't know their name, but those, like, basically taking a controller that we know and love and chopping it in half and putting it as Joy-Cons on the Switch is something I think I would love to see. I don't think we need it necessarily because the third party is doing a good job at it, but I would really like to see Nintendo do something first party. Take the actual first party hardware and chop it on left and right on your Switch. I would love to see something like that.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
All the stuff that we saw people making on the internet before the Switch came out, just give me some of that stuff. And I have one thing. This is the one thing. I mean, I have more, but this will be like the thing since we're on this subject. Yep. The GameCube Joy-Cons. Wouldn't it be cool if instead of, because we know they're going to do it, we know they're going to bring GameCube games to NSO eventually, and they're going to put out the GameCube controller, the official controller. Just skip the controller. Just skip it this time. Give us the Joy-Cons instead. Give us the official Joy-Cons instead. Like, we got the 64 controller, that's cool. Obviously, that's not going to fit on the side of a Switch, but you could definitely make official GameCube Joy-Cons from Nintendo and put them out, even if they are only available on the website, if you're a NSO member, which is kind of dumb, like, whatever. Just give me something like that, first party. That's what I want.
Yeah, I think for me, I've always wanted like the Pro Joy-Cons, whatever that looks like for Nintendo.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
But yeah, because I mean, it's such a simple thing if you think about it. They could use the same internals just with better parts. Charge a lot for it. You can charge $100 plus for that easily, and people will buy it because people want it, right? Also, it works with every feature possible on Joy-Cons, which almost every third party misses out on. Like the what is it? Not the IR camera, which no one really uses the IR camera, but like you can actually put HD rumble on it, right? And say, hey, look, out of all, this is like officially licensed, a real Nintendo product. But that or a version of, like Xbox does it, PS5 does it, the PlayStation does it, where they have the Pro controller, right?
Yep.
That's the problem. Like, we have the Pro controller, which is just let's be honest, it's a normal controller from Nintendo.
It's one of the best controllers they've ever made.
I think,
it's
I
great.
feel like that's where they really nailed it, is with the Pro controller.
Yeah, but it's not like, like when you see the Xbox version of it, like, here I have the what is it, the Elite Series 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have modular parts, you can customize it, you can go all out with it.
Yeah,
it's very expensive, but that's what I want. That's the thing, is that Nintendo made the Pro controller. They can't make the Pro controller, right?
Pro
or like
Plus.
The Pro controller Plus. Yeah, so I'd love to see them tackle that in some way, because I mean, Nintendo's actually a really good manufacturer. Their plastics are top notch.
Oh, yes,
their build quality is great. The Nintendo Switch, if you don't like it, you have to admit that it's easy to repair compared to other consoles out there. It's easy to get into, customize the shell, all that stuff, right? So, what's the repair the site that talks about repairability? I forgot. iFixit.
Yeah, iFixit.
It got a good rating on there, so. I'd love to see them tackle like a Pro controller with maybe customizable parts or adjustable parts like that. So then, that's just on my list.
Maybe come up with a better name than Pro. I think they could do better than Pro
Plus, obviously. But going, kind of staying with that a little bit, the fact that, well, we don't know for sure, but the fact that we are getting the Switch 2 and it's going to be more powerful, and these games are going to run better, look better. A controller like that would make more sense for a console like that, where you can actually play the thing and get, 60 frames per second in Fortnite, or because, I play Fortnite a good bit, but I can tell you where I don't play it on the Switch ever, because it's unbearable. Sense, but so if you're putting a controller like, even when Call of Duty's coming too. A controller like that would be great for something like that. Any game really, but if you're going to have some more competitive games on there and be able to run them correctly, a controller like that would make sense at that point.
Yeah. I'd love to see that because I feel that because of when COVID hit and the pandemic was in, people don't really understand how bad that affected Nintendo, because if you think about it, we got an upgrade to the Nintendo Switch and all they did was update a few parts and the OLED screen.
Yeah.
I was still shocked by that because you have to understand that when you look at the 3DS or the any other previous consoles, the changes you have in between them are justifiable, right? To me, an OLED screen, it looks beautiful, but it's not like it's really hard to choose between okay, should I just pay another $300 for an OLED screen? I don't think the average consumer is thinking that way, but clearly they are because they're selling like crazy, especially in the holidays. Because of that hurdle that they had to go through, I think they saved a lot of things that they had in the works for this next version of the Switch. And I think it's going to show. I'm really hoping for a kit like we got with the Switch where it just blows us out of the water.
Yeah, I'd like to see them. That's one thing I've made several videos on, the Switch 2 needs to have this, whatever. And one of the things I think I said in both those videos where it should have a Pro controller with it, an actual controller should come with the system. And I know it would cost a little more to do that, but I feel like the Joy-Cons and their little grip is one thing, but it needs a real controller, especially if you're saying, no, this is a home console as well. It's an actual hybrid. Give it a controller. I think it could be just the regular Pro controller, and then, like you said, buy the upgraded version.
Yeah, I don't think
aftermarket or whatever.
I don't think they need to go. I don't think they need to find a new name for the Pro controller, because I think what they can very easily do is with this next console, they can, because it's good. They've already called it the successor many times. It's the successor to the Switch. We can all pretty much assume with pretty good certainty that it is going to be the Switch 2, or at least a version of the Switch with a Switch Super Switch. Hopefully, it's a Super Switch.
Super Switch,
but it's going to be Switch. It's the Switch again. So I think what they could do is they could just go and say this pretend this is the next version of the Pro controller. This is the Switch 2 Pro controller. It's still Nintendo Pro controller, but it's the Switch 2's version. It's a bit different. And then they can go Xbox is the Elite. They can find another fun name if they wanted to go a different route and have a second Pro controller. They can go and call it a different name, but they don't need the next Pro controller can be better and better than the old one, and still be called the Pro controller. I think I don't think they've really caused that big of a problem for themselves. I think it's going to be the Pro controller again, but just
that's
the
actually
Switch
something I haven't thought a lot about.
And it can come with the console. I think it might actually, because it might be $500. So for $500, you get your Joy-Con, you get a controller, a regular controller, and you get the dock and all that for a big fat price of $499. And then you can have tiers. Well, this version doesn't have this. This version doesn't have that. This version has nothing. They could do that. A nice big tiered system. But I want to quickly mention too, Pro Joy-Cons. Please give us Pro Joy-Cons. Charge $100 for them. I don't care. I'll buy them. I'm a nut. I'll do it. But I want them so bad, bro. We need first-party Pro Joy-Cons. Please.
Yeah, it's just full-size inputs. I mean, it's really what it comes down to. You can tell that the Joy-Cons did what they did, without the knife part, just because it's portable. And it's it's versatile. I was blown away when you can just rotate them and you bust out multiplayer, dude. You know how awesome that is?
It is cool.
Dude, I was at work and I was like, hey, you want to play Smash? You take them out and you share, right? That's if I had that in high school, I would have failed all my classes, guaranteed. Because that is such an awesome thing to do on the when you're a kid. But even as an adult, man, so it's awesome. I love the versatility of it.
I think I've done that actually, maybe in the lifetime of the Switch, maybe twice.
Yeah,
maybe
when it was new, right?
When it was new, it was
exactly.
Hey, check this out.
I did it out of necessity. So when I was telling you guys my story about buying the Switch Lite at first, right? I bought a Switch Lite because that's the only thing I could buy, but we wanted to play on the TV, but we could because of the Switch Lite. So I bought with the Switch Lite a pair of Joy-Cons, and I was like, "Oh, that's a great idea. We'll have two controllers for the price of one, and it's Joy-Cons. So when we eventually upgrade to a regular Switch, we'll have an extra pair of Joy-Cons. Perfect, great." So we get the thing. Yeah. Our dumbasses, me and my fiance, well, my dumbass, she's no dumb, but we're playing our Switch Lite.
Back it up.
Yeah, back it up. We're playing our Switch Lite on a stand right in front of us right, and then I break the Joy-Cons out, and we're holding our sideways Joy-Cons, 2-player. Little screen, and eventually, I don't have it with me. I should have. Didn't think about it. We did buy one of those ridiculous magnifiers for the Switch Lite because we were desperate to have a better experience. We're like, we need a bigger screen. Yeah, it doesn't.
It works, man.
One person, it works. It works for one person.
Yes,
it does not work for two people because the angles are all messed up. It was pointless.
Oh, yeah.
It was pointless for us to buy because, oh my God, you can't see anything from an angle.
Yeah.
It has to be dead on. So that was us in 2020 in like March.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun times.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up with a little bit of conversation about but we had a direct a couple days ago. Sorry, guys, about last night. My power was literally turning on and off for like 30 minutes before the show. And I'm like, we can't do a show if I'm worried about the power turning off suddenly. I couldn't even get it set up to do it. So I'm like, we got to cancel. So let's quickly talk about a little bit of direct stuff because we want to take it because it was kind of laxed. It was kind of a meh. We talked about it in the pre-show. I think we all kind of ranked it like a C. I think I would go C+ because I do think it was a little bit better than a C, but it's not a B. It's not an A for sure.
It's a passing grade, dude.
Yeah.
It's a passing
it's fine.
grade.
It was fine.
Me, I was a C. I'm a C.
You is an S tier, brother, because you're coming on our show. Appreciate you.
I mean, it was fine. It was fine. There wasn't anything there. I was like, oh, amazing. But there were a few things. It was like, oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, now, let me ask you this, though. How much of the cool stuff was on the partner side compared to the indie side?
Most of the stuff I liked was indie stuff.
I was all on indie. I was all indie stuff. The partner stuff.
Okay.
I
Most
streamed,
of the stuff that I was like, oh, that's actually something that's very cool was the first part. Yeah. The second, there was some stuff.
Indie's killing it right now. Partner was fine. It was kind of a lame. It was kind of a lame partner direct. If you ask me, I wasn't too interested in a lot of it. The indie direct though was where it's at. There's a few games I wish listed. I was like, this is cool. I made a couple cool shadow drops.
What was the one? You were streaming it, and you said, "Oh, Drip's gonna love that one." I was like, "Yes." What is this? This is great.
I have no memory.
It's like the second game they.
It was too early in the morning to remember that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't even remember what it was called, but when I see it again,
I don't know.
But for me,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like the indie side. Surprisingly, the indie side I had probably the least, and that's all. Really? It's all. It comes down to like what you're into and whatnot. But for me, dude, I don't know if you saw the Date Everything.
Yeah, that was
dude. That one I saw and I was like, this is another stupid dating simulator. And then I started listening to it. Yeah. And I was like, wait, that's a lamp that has a 6-pack that's ripped and it has this kind of outfit. And I was like, on a Nintendo console, you can get a game where you can date
a lamp,
objects, or anything in a house, and it's
literally
ripped.
anything. Yeah.
And it's romantic. And I was like, what's the rating on this game? Because if the rating is like M, I'm going to buy that and make my brand that game because that is mind-blowing. Dude, that is a game made for streamers. I was like, this is absolutely what we need more of.
Yes.
I actually
that one was interesting.
I thought it was really bad at first. I'm like, oh my God, another one. How is this in a direct?
I saw your opinion change as the trailer went on. I was watching. You're like, well...
Yeah,
okay.
I was as they were showing more and more about it. I was like, wait a minute, they're not taking it very seriously. It's a very because some of these games like that, they're just bad. They're not good games, and that's my initial thought was, oh, just another one of those. And how has this made its way into a direct? That's crazy. But as they kept talking about it, I'm like, oh. That's different. That's crazy. That's weird. And eventually I was like, oh, they're like joking about things too. Like they're not even taking it. I completely see this game's intention. I didn't think about the streaming aspect. Maybe I should pick that one up to stream. That would be kind of fun.
Dude, you have to. You have to. I mean, think of it like this, dude. You know how Nintendo it's very wholesome. They have the commentators like, oh, I jumped over you. Oh, you fell, right? Yeah. But then it's like, hey, what are you doing? I'm a staircase. And, it's like in a 6-pack and it's like all like sensual and this stuff. And I was like, dude, Nintendo, you dirty.
Yeah, maybe I do got to pick it up now. I think
you do. You absolutely do.
All right, I got to do it.
Was that one of the 50 games that was dropped yesterday? Because I've never seen so many shadow drops.
Pizza Tower was one that was shadow drop that I thought was really interesting. Apparently, it's already out on Steam, so it's not new, but it looks incredible. I'm like, wow, that is a game I want to play right now because it looks like a lot of fun.
Super retro-ish. Yeah. I thought it looked like it was made in like 90s version of Paint. It has like those thin lines that are like just crooked all over.
Yes.
And it looks like Sonic pretty much, but like with much better moves, like a move set that like changes as you go. But yeah, that looked awesome too. For me, I will say I'm actually on the partner side because I'm a massive fan of Power Stone. I grew up playing that game through a friend's house because I didn't have the money to have a Dreamcast. So I'd go to my friend's house and play Power Stone. I was blown away. Have you guys played Power Stone before?
No.
I know a lot of people were pumped about that. Yeah.
Dude, it's a big deal because you have to understand Capcom made a game that was like pretty much Smash Brothers-esque. And where you have like this open arena where you can just run around in 3D, right? Because they wanted to show that off with the Dreamcast. But since then, they have not talked about Power Stone in probably like 18 years. So then out of nowhere, this just shadow dropped and people were just blown away. If you look on X, everyone was talking about it.
I saw a lot of people talking about it.
Deal. Yeah, it's a really big deal. And I think, in my opinion, the reason they're doing it is because they might consider doing a new version of it because it just makes no sense why they would drop it like a shadow drop like that when they have like Marvel versus Capcom, the collection, which is a big deal too, because this is competing with it in a sense. So I'm really hoping that that comes back in some way.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is something, like I said earlier, that's the biggest thing I took away from all of it. It's just all the shadow people like, we got to get our games out now. If they're coming out on the Switch, we got to get them out right now. We're just going to do this. Yeah. All the shadow drops. You know, there was nothing huge. I mean, going in, we already knew, okay, it's an indie and a partner. No first party stuff. Yeah. This just tells me Switch 2, October.
Yeah, think about it like, you know, the Civ game that's coming out. It's on the Switch, which if you've seen how Civ is, the previous Civilization that's on the Switch now, it's already chugs. The performance isn't the best. So when they announced the new one and you see the graphics on there, you can tell right away that this isn't going to run anywhere near as good as on a console or PC. But I'm pretty sure that's going to be one of those titles that works for both. And then we're going to have, you know, that on, you know, Switch and Switch 2 little label at the bottom next year. Yeah. So I think that's what we're going to see too. Is like those titles that are like work for both.
I think we're going to have a long time with that too.
Oh yeah,
the Switch and Switch 2 games we're gonna
for like 8 years.
Yeah, well, dude, like the Xbox and PlayStation are still releasing games for their last gen, and it's been like what 4 or 5 years now, something like that.
There's money to be made, man.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, if you guys, that's why somebody asked in our Discord the other day, Drip. They were like, "Yo, like, should I buy a Switch right now? Like, I'm interested. I'm watching videos. That's why they came into our Discord, and they're like, should I buy one now or should I wait? And for me, the answer is always, even at this point. At the Switch's life, buy it now because you're going to experience a whole library of games that you've never experienced before and franchises you might fall in love with that you might fall in love with next year potentially, but maybe you won't because maybe you're thinking about it now, but next year you might be thinking about something else and you might miss out on being a whole nerd of a franchise that you missed out on because you're like, I'll just wait a little bit. Just buy it now.
We got a 2D Zelda on the way, man. Like right now's the time. Get it for sure.
And then someone else asked us, yo, should I? I'm a new Zelda fan. What's my first Zelda game? And I didn't. It's kind of a hard answer to give them, but they asked, could Echoes of Wisdom be my first Zelda game? And I was like, I think so. I mean, listen, if you don't like the old games, you don't like the old games. I don't think playing a new Zelda game is going to ruin the old games for you per se, because that's a particular style you have to get into. If you're not into that particular style of game, because they're different now. The games are different than they used to be. So if you don't like that style to begin with, you're not going to like it anyway. But I think off topic here, but I think Echoes of Wisdom is fine to play as your first Zelda game. I think buying a Switch right now is a good option because I think, talking about Switch 2, backwards compatibility I think is going to be a thing because they've kind of confirmed it in a way. So if you're buying games now, most games, it's not all of them on your eShop, on your digital library or physical, these are going to work in this new console.
Yeah. I mean, also, you know, just to touch on the Zelda thing real quick. Breath of the Wild is open world. We like open world. That's an awesome. I think if you're going to introduce someone to open world games, Breath of the Wild is like one of the best.
Well, maybe it's the worst because then they're not going to want to play any other open world game because that one is the best open world game.
My daughter's been playing like Breath of the Wild for years, and then she got Tears of the Kingdom. It's been like a year, and she's still running through it. So but I mean, that's what's awesome about it. You can just have like a calm pace through the game. It's not like one of those where you have to like rush through it or, you know, you hit a wall right away, just go somewhere else. But that's one thing I do love about it. I'm a huge Zelda fan, by the way.
So. Me too.
We are here too. You fit right in.
There we go.
Yeah. So the direct happened. It kind of hints towards Switch 2. It does. Drip and I talked about this earlier in a different show. If there was going to be a full direct, we might be pushing the Nintendo Switch 2's date far out, because if it was a full direct with good stuff, they're kind of telling us, listen, there's not, wait longer. But because it was a partner, and also that's another interesting thing we should talk about quickly. The fact this is the first time they did 2 in 1, the partner and an indie. They don't do that. I feel like the reason they did that was because they're trying to get the stuff out the door. They're trying to get these announcements done as quick as possible. And if that means that 2 at once, they're going to do it because it's looming, and it's looming quickly. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking that, but I feel like that's a good sign.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look on the Reddit, there's the Nintendo Switch Reddit, someone posted an image of all the games we're still supposed to get by the end of this year. It's a massive list. It's over 50 games that are releasing before the end of the year, which is insane to think about. Yeah.
Tells you a lot right there. I'm telling you, this thing's going to be announced in October. We're getting it Mario Day next year.
Oh, man.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Hey, Sergio, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Where can the people find you on the internet?
I have Twitter. Well, I don't call it X. It's just Twitter.
It's Twitter.
Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram.
You're in the right place.
Yeah. I dabble on Twitter. I'm mostly on YouTube. If you follow me on YouTube, I'm always on here. I'm one of those people who uses the community tab, so I'm on there too. You'll probably see my comments on similar videos here and there. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Very cool. And we recommend it highly because it's a great channel. Awesome stuff. When's that Genki video? That Genki controller? When's it coming out? What are we waiting for?
It's Friday. It's for their Kickstarter. Sweet. So yeah, on Friday I'll show you all that. I'll have all the pretty shots, the B-roll shots.
Sweet.
Cool.
I think we're gonna forego the after show. We have gone a bit long, which is totally fine. It's especially when we have a guest on. It's fine to go a little bit long. So we're not gonna do an after show. So those of you in the stream, and for the audio people all alike, we're just gonna wrap it up all in one place. We're gonna just sign off. There's one thing I wanted to mention before that, and I can't remember what that is. Crap. Oh yeah, this is what it was. So Sergio, live on the show, we do a thing, Drip and I, and we started it last year. We're trying to make it a tradition. Every year that the Game Awards are still a thing, we want to stream it on this show, and not a podcast, but we do it as a just like a stream, just like a chill, bring a beer, watch the Game Awards with us. You don't have to give us your if you're coming or not now. We're just letting you know, and people out there as well. We try to get together as many people as we can who we have on the show to come together on the Game Awards night and like just chill. And last year we kind of laughed at the Game Awards a lot because what was the thing we were trying to do? What were we doing last year? Like Nintendo releases? What was the thing we were? I can't remember now. It's been so long. It's been a year.
It was something like, is it coming to the Switch or is it not coming to this? I don't remember.
Yeah, and that was a different mindset last year. Last year we were in the mindset of like, oh, Switch 2's on the horizon, so like they're not going to show anything for the Switch because it's coming really soon. The Switch 2's coming, and then that just ended up not happening. But anyway, we do that thing. It'd be really cool to have you on for that giant event that we're totally going to have.
Sure, dude. I mean, I watch it every year. I actually love it.
Yeah,
we had a great time last year.
Yeah.
Even when we had like Dorito Pope, remember Dorito Pope?
Oh my God.
That was like 5 years ago or something like that. That was a blast.
And that ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely. You guys definitely let me know.
Cool, dude. Cool. Anyway, so guys, you can find It Came From a Box YouTube channel down below, Twitter as well, Sergio A.M. Appreciate you coming on, dude. It's been a pleasure.
For sure.
Thanks, guys.
We're catching you guys.
Man.
So we're going to sign off for everybody, and we're going to catch you guys next week.
Later.
Show.